about what the goal of this trip is?
You know, I told Mr. Abrego Garcia's family I would do everything I could to bring him home, and I'm going to keep working it until he is brought home, because he was illegally snatched off the streets and deported to this prison in El Salvador. The Supreme Court, by 9-0, has said that he was illegally taken out of the country and has ordered the Trump administration to facilitate his return home. So I am going to go to El Salvador. I hope to meet with senior officials in the government, and I hope to have a chance to see Mr. Abrego Garcia to report on his condition. But my overall purpose here is to send a signal that we are not going to stop fighting for his return until he is actually released. I may be the first senator or first member of Congress to go down to El Salvador, but people are going to keep on coming until he comes home.
What has been the reception to your requests?
Well, we've been working right now through the embassy, and we'll have a better sense when I get there as to who I'll be able to meet with, or if I'll be able to see Abrego Garcia at all. But we're going to push very hard to do that. And again, the overall message will be it's better to cooperate with all of us to implement the court order here at home. And I do believe that the government of El Salvador, the president of El Salvador, will recognize that it's very much in their interests to help bring him home so he can have due process. This is about the rule of law. This is about due process. This is about not letting people be just whisked off the street, which the Trump administration admits was done in error. And I just want people to think about what that means. I mean, you go out, you get disappeared. They say they did it in error, but they're not helping bring you back from the prison that they sent you to. That's a nightmare for anybody in America. And my view is the Trump administration starts by picking on the most vulnerable. But when you start ignoring court orders and you start ignoring the rule of law in America, it's a very short road to tyranny.
Department of Homeland Security says that he shows up at a port of entry, that they're going to either deport him to another country or strip him of his protected status and ship him right back to El Salvador.
Well, that would be in direct violation of the court order, because the court order was to facilitate his return. Now, when he gets back here, if they want to bring charges, they can do that. But so far, they've come up with nothing, right? They've lied about him. They have, the president lying in the Oval Office. This is a person who is here legally. He has never been even charged in a criminal case. He's never been convicted in a criminal case. So when the vice president tweets out he's been convicted, that's just not true. I mean, you saw lie after lie after lie coming out of the White House. They're gaslighting the American people on this case. So they can say what they want, but in the United States of America, at least so far, we respect the rule of law. And when a judge orders you to do something, you can appeal it. They did, but the Supreme Court, by 9-0, said the lower court was right, that he'd been wrongfully whisked out of the country, which they admitted in court. I mean, they admitted administrative error. Think about that. And yet they won't lift a finger to get him out of the prison they sent him to in error.
And other attorneys are now using his case as an example. So can you talk about the precedent that this has been setting and the precedent you're hoping to set with this trip?
Well, that's right. Look, there are two issues. One is freedom and justice for Abrego Garcia, who was illegally whisked away. He's got a wife, 3 kids, and all of a sudden he ends up in a notorious prison in El Salvador. But his case represents a lot more than that. It's about the rule of law. It's about respecting court orders, because that is that is what separates the United States from authoritarianism and tyranny. Is that we respect the rule of law, regardless of your status or position in society. And if you throw that out the window, God help us, because every American then could be subject to this kind of terror and trauma.
attorney. We got to catch a flight.
Real quick, how long are you going to be there? Do you know?
I'm going to be there at least a couple days.
Okay,
All
and no
right?
confirmed meetings at this point
We
that you can talk about.
nothing confirmed that we can talk about now. Okay.
All right, thank you.